construction easier for everybody who worked in it. So she's going to talk about it, and then I'm going to join her on stage and talk to her a little bit.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Oh, thank you. I think that was for you, not me, but thank you. My name is Tracy Young. I'm one of the co-founders and CEO of PlanGrid. PlanGrid builds beautiful, simple, effective software for the construction industry. So I want to talk to you today about the problems of construction. This is the status quo of all construction information on almost every project in the world, which is there's a lot of paper. And actually, let's see if I'm actually going to come down and point at it. So this right here are reams and reams of paper. They're 46 inches by 36 inches, so they're kind of bigger than me. And this is $100,000 worth of paper, which is totally insane. This is more than a Tesla Model X. Over here is how the industry teaches new engineers how to version control drawing sheets. Drawings are constantly changing, and industry standard is just putting the new one on top of the old one and then dog-earing it. I can tell you firsthand, this doesn't work. Someone's gonna flip this set and then they just kind of undog-ear themselves. Right here is a project's, they came up with this really clever coloring scheme, and they basically decided that, we've got a really hard way. We just can't figure out what's current. So I know I'll spend 5 times as much printing in color so that I know that the pink set is more current than the yellow set, which is more current than the green set. And so if you look closely at that photo, there's green on top of yellow on top of blue, and there's actually really organized toe tags on each set, and they actually had to give up all of that for PlanGrid because it just wasn't working. So lots of paper. But really what every construction professional inevitably faces is something like this. Number 1, denial. How could we have possibly missed this? How could we have not included this in our budget? How did we not realize that we can't actually build this when we were going through the drawing set? Second stage is blame. Well, if the architect designed it correctly in the first place, I would have bid it correctly and wrote the right contracts for this project, and now we wouldn't have seen months and months of delay. It's their fault, not mine. And then sadness, because someone has to go over to the building owner, the developer, and say, we can't build this as is, I need more money. I need more money, I need more time to make this work. And so the problems of construction is that there's tons of change orders, cost is increasing all the time, schedules delaying, disputes, finger pointing. Everyone is just generally angry on job sites, which is why there's lots of problems. And just in my hometown in San Francisco, where our office is headquartered in, the dollar amount, it translates to Bay Bridge 240% over its initial budget. Well, let's not even talk about time. Caltrans on average, every highway project, every roadway project, 22% over its initial budget. Santa Clara Medical Center isn't gonna see its patients for another 2 years. It's currently 125% over its initial budget. Current estimates is 400% over what was initially estimated. Unbelievable. And so here we are with all these problems, and investment in construction is growing fast. Construction is currently an $8 trillion a year industry globally. McKinsey is estimating that by 2030, we're gonna be spending closer to $13 trillion. And actually, to keep up with our growing GDP, to keep up with population growth and our deteriorating infrastructure, we need to actually be investing closer to $57 trillion per year to keep up with the world. But as these projects get delivered and these projects get written up and permitted, and they're much larger projects going up, especially in this city. We call them mega projects, billion-dollar-plus projects. Even though they only account for 1 out of 10 projects, they're 77% by project value, which totally makes sense because it's such high dollar amounts. So let's play a quick game. Projects with overruns. You're gonna have to help me guess. This is percent of mega projects that see overruns. 100%. 98%, close. Average schedule delay. This is in terms of months from what was initially estimated. 24 months, that's really good, 20 months. Average cost increase. This is a percent over its initial budget. 35, 50, 60, 100%, 80%. So I don't know if there's any developers or building owners in here, but you guys would know this well. So when we really dive in deep and look at construction labor productivity, which is where most of the cost comes from, labor and materials, what you'll find is that when we compare the construction industry across all other industry segments, in green here is all non-farm industries. By and large, everyone has figured out how to be more productive than we were 60 years ago. And so on the bottom with the yellow and orange and purple lines, given that construction is heavily driven by commodities, so they've adjusted it by different price deflators. Any way you cut it, construction has seen a steady decline in labor productivity, which means we are less productive today in construction than we were 60 years ago. As a construction engineer coming out of university in 2008, I saw this graph and thought, WTF, how could this be possible? How could it be that we're constructing these amazing skyscrapers in some of the most extreme conditions, and we're figuring out how to go home safely to our families every day, but we haven't figured out how to be more efficient than we were 20 years ago, 60 years ago? And so how did the rest of the world become more productive? And what we'll find is that there's this massive correlation between an industry's ability to digitize their workflows and their information and the increase in productivity. Except in construction, where you can't take the IBM personal computer out to the field in the 80s while everyone is adopting it to do their jobs better. And so we're not last. We're above agriculture and hunting. We're down at the bottom, not the last one. But compared to our counterparts in the automotive and aerospace sectors that spend 3.5 to 4.5% of revenues on software to do their jobs better and to deliver their products faster, construction spends less than 1% of revenues today. And so we've just historically underinvested in technology and software to gain that efficiency that everyone else in the world has seen. But that's obviously changing. And so this is what we're trying to do. We're solving such a simple problem. The founders of PlanGrid were just at the right place at the right time. Steve Jobs announces the first generation iPad. The whole world doesn't really know what to think about it. You guys saw the photos on the internet with people like putting iPads through their faces and talking to like a giant iPhone and making fun of it, making fun of the word iPad. But my co-founders and I looked at each other and we're like, wow, this looks like a fully powered computer that we could take out to the job site. And we thought, let's build software for it. And so here we are today. Over 500,000 construction projects have been built with PlanGrid over the last 6 years. And we're very lucky to be able to do what we do. Construction is the infrastructure of the world. And there's certainly lots of challenges that we need to overcome. There's lots of problems in the world right now. For us, the problem that we've decided to solve is if we are unable to figure out how to make this industry more productive now, we will be unable to deliver the infrastructure that this world needs. This is all the problems that we currently have set aside. And it's gonna impact, we're seeing it in New York already, we're seeing it in San Francisco. If we are unable to build faster and make construction more cheap, it hurts people at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, it's not hurting the people in this room, it's hurting the rest of the people, right? Anyways, my time is out, so I'm going to stop talking. If you would like to geek out about construction or mobile technology, my email is tracy@plangrid.com. Or if you're building anything at all, we can help save you boatloads of money, so come talk to us. Thank you.
Okay. I just wanted to ask you one thing, because you obviously have sort of a macroeconomic view of this, the way you contextualized it. I'm just curious, given that you've done all this in construction, where else do you think stuff like an approach like this is needed? What other industries do you see that have a similar challenge that is unaddressed?
Apparently agriculture and hunting.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
hunting, I don't see it, but agriculture, actually, there's a lot going
But
on.
as software developers, what we like to do is look at what people are doing and where is the manual work. Like, technology can eliminate that manual work so that people can focus on what they're actually supposed to do. For us, they're supposed to be building.
Yeah. Well, it is true that if you go to the problem that we talked to Fred about at the very beginning of the day, about bringing the rest of the world into this economy that we're so, lucky to be part of,